We need to ask you about your mistake, Richard. So our podcast is a bit of therapy for marketing people out there. So it's quite informal, but we've had everything from people that have made little mistakes. I've shared mine where I sent a press release out that shouldn't have gone out and got national exposure everywhere. Through to we've had all sorts of things, like somebody who set up a pet store and named it really complicated and nobody knew how to spell it or find it, and it was so it didn't do very well. We've had all kinds of different mistakes. Obviously, you do a lot of testing, so I would imagine you make less mistakes in the world of behavioural science, don't you, in your day job?
Well, if you're just testing things you know are going to work for certain, I would argue you're not testing enough. You want to be testing things that it might not work. I think it'd be definitely a mistake if you didn't do that, because I would always argue that the odds are massively stacked in your favour, because if as a brand you test something and it doesn't work, well, you turn it off after a week. Downside is very capped. If you test something and it works, you run it forever. So that there's a real imbalance. Losses are minimal, upside is infinite. So I think you are testing too little if everything's working. You'll be testing the most well-known basic principles. Now, you want to be testing some of the either lateral interpretations of those principles or maybe some of the lesser-known ideas as well.
So what have you had something that's gone spectacularly wrong in marketing?
If it's a personal mistake, I think the worst thing I ever did, and this is showing my age, I don't think this even happens any longer. I remember when I just started in marketing, so I'd been about 22, and the key client was Coca-Cola, and we were going on a site tour with them to look at all the posters to make sure they're up properly and look nice and in good positions. And I can remember going out the night before and getting so drunk. I woke up like at midday the next day, and I was meant to have met the client at 9 o'clock. So I think as things go wrong, I think that was probably the moment where I was most in danger of being fired by the agency I worked with. But luckily, my boss took a reasonably relaxed attitude, and they kind of met me on, I don't know, the A127 or something, pulled over in a lay-by, picked me up, and I just looked green in the back. I think I was more a figure of amusement for people.
That's the second similar mistake, and we had one a few weeks ago, didn't we? Along those lines.
Yeah, he went out to a pitch. He went out to an awards, and they unexpectedly won an awards. And he got absolutely leathered at the award. Jaeger bombs, here we go. Yeah. Forgot he had a pitch at 9 a.m. the next morning.
Oh my God.
And then had to go and pitch and lead the pitch, totally hungover.
He won it though, I think, didn't he?
He can't remember any of the pitch. Maybe that was the peak, and he can't remember any of it, but they won it, so yeah.
Higher expectations of it, yeah.